The Middle East remains at the center of global attention this morning, as renewed missile and drone exchanges between Iran and U.S. aligned forces deepened fears of a wider regional conflict. Security alerts spread across the Gulf overnight, with air defense systems activated in several areas following reports of attacks targeting strategic infrastructure. Pressure is also mounting at sea. Shipping traffic near the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical energy corridors, faced major disruption as hundreds of vessels experienced delays amid escalating military tensions. Iranian authorities are also reported to have seized additional oil tankers during a series of maritime confrontations, raising concerns about the security of global trade routes and energy supplies. The economic impact was immediate. Oil prices and global stock markets swung sharply as investors reacted to uncertainty surrounding ceasefire negotiations and the risk of broader instability. Despite the volatility, financial markets later recovered some ground on hopes that diplomatic channels remain open. Behind the scenes, emergency talks involving American, European, and Vatican officials intensified in an effort to prevent the crisis from expanding further. But divisions are also emerging among NATO allies, with disagreements growing over support for military operations linked to Iran and the broader regional strategy. In Lebanon, casualties continued to rise as cross-border strikes and regional fighting escalated again, adding to fears that multiple fronts across the region could become increasingly active in the days ahead. Elsewhere, efforts to secure a ceasefire in Ukraine remain stalled despite continued international mediation, underscoring the wider strain on global diplomacy as multiple geopolitical crises unfold simultaneously. In health news, authorities across several countries expanded monitoring measures after a hantavirus outbreak linked to an international cruise voyage sparked growing concern among public health agencies. Cybersecurity experts are also sounding new alarms over artificial intelligence. Analysts warn that rapidly advancing AI technologies could increase threats against banking systems, financial networks, and critical infrastructure, particularly as cyber capabilities become more sophisticated and harder to contain. On the economic front, stronger than expected job growth in the United States helped ease fears of a sharper slowdown in the world's largest economy, offering investors a rare point of optimism amid wider uncertainty. Canada, however, continues to face economic pressure after another disappointing labor report showed worsening youth unemployment, reinforcing concerns about slowing domestic growth. In the United Kingdom, financial markets stabilized after Prime Minister Keir Starmer pledged to remain in office despite major election setbacks. The political landscape there is shifting rapidly. Local elections delivered significant gains for Reform UK, while Labour suffered notable losses across several regions. Meanwhile, in Wales, Plaid Cymru achieved a historic breakthrough, challenging decades of Labour dominance, while Green parties across the UK expanded their local influence with strong electoral performances. And as instability in the Gulf continues to disrupt transportation networks, airlines and international cargo operators are adjusting routes, fuel strategies, and shipping schedules to manage growing operational risks. For now, investors and governments alike remain focused on one question: whether diplomacy can still prevent a larger regional war. Return for the next brief. Stay ahead of the signal.